Welcome to Week in Minutes. Have a nice day. Today is Sunday, 22nd of June 2025. Now starting the newspaper of the world news including Close Your Eyes and Our Robotic Voices answer calls out Iran as families abroad struggle to reach loved ones. China, Pakistan and Bangladesh hold a first trilateral meeting discusses age post-cooperation. Faiz Mohammed Khalil from Davao refugee, the face of the campus protest movement. Belarus frees a key opposition figure Sergei Tsikhanovsky following rare visit from top US envoy. United States moves B-2 stealth bombers to ground as Israel-Iran conflict rages report. At least 8 killed as hot air balloon crashes in the Brazil. Now from the Hindu newspaper we have Israel-Iran conflict live. Iran president says will not halt nuclear activity under any circumstances. Houthis threaten United States ships if Washington joins strikes on Iran. Demonstrators wave Iranian flags as one holds up a protest of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei during a protest against Israeli attacks on Iran after the Friday prayer ceremonies on June 20, 2025 in central Tehran, Iran. Israel and Iran traded strikes a week into their war on Friday on June 20, 2025 as President Donald Trump waited United States military involvement and key European ministers met with the Iran's top diplomat in the Geneva in a scramble to de-escalate the conflict. But the first face-to-face meeting between the Western and Iranian officials in a week-long war concluded after 4 hours with no sign of an immediate breakthrough. To give diplomacy a chance, Mr. Trump said he would put off deciding for up to 2 weeks whether to join Israel's air campaign against Iran. United States participation will most likely involve strikes against Iran's underground Fordo uranium enrichment facility, considering to be out of reach to all but America's bunker buster bombs. Whether or not the United States joins Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israeli military operation in Iran would continue for as long as it takes to eliminate what he called the existential threat of Iran's nuclear program and arsenal of ballistic missiles. From the Hindu. 5.1 magnitude earthquake rattles northern Iran amid Israel war. USGS 5.1 magnitude earthquake hits northern Iran as Israel launches airstrikes, USGS reports. A 5.1 magnitude earthquake shook northern Iran on Friday, June 20, 2025, the United States Geological Survey said, as Israel pounded the country with the reported waves of the airstrikes. The quake, which Iran's Tasnim news agency said major 5.2 struck at a depth of the 10 km, 26 miles some 37 km, that is 23 miles southwest of the city of the Semnan, the USGS said. Japan, United States, Philippines Coast Guard simulate a crisis amid China threat. Tensions between China and other elements to parts of East and South China Seas have pushed Japan to deepen ties with the Philippines and the United States. The aerial handout photo taken on the June 20, 2025 and received from the Japan Coast Guard's 10th Regional Coast Guard headquarters on the June 21, 2025 shows the Philippine Coast Guard's ship Teresa Magpuna. The Japan Coast Guard ship Asangisi and the United States Coast Guard ship Cutter Straton L in the formation of during maritime exercises in the waters around the southern city of the Kagoshima Prefecture. Japanese Coast Guard on June 20 to conduct joint exercise with the United States and the Philippines. Seen a show of unity against Chinese activity in disputed regional waters. Helicopters buzzed in the shadow of a smoldering volcano and the boats rescued dummies from the sea this week in the show of the maritime unity of Japan, the United States, and the Philippines. The joint Coast Guard exercises held off Japan's southwest shore following a warning from the three countries about Chinese activity in the disputed regional waters. Thousands in China mark International Day of Yoga with a mass participation. Widespread enthusiasm underscores growing popularity of Indian wellness practice and diplomatic thought. People perform yoga on the International Yoga Day in Guangzhou, China on June 21st, 2025. Thousands of the across China rolled out yoga mats on the Saturday, June 21, 2025 to participate in events marking the International Day of Yoga, reflecting the rising popularity of the ancient Indian wellness tradition. In the Beijing, Indian ambassador to China, Pradeep Kumar Rawat, attended the celebration held at the Old Indian Embassies complex alongside several diplomats. The 2-hour event, which included a yoga competition, drew hundreds of Chinese yoga practitioners. Owing to overwhelming interest, the Indian embassy was compelled to close registrations after more than 1,500 people signed up. Now, from the Hindustan Times newspaper, we have Operation Sindoor paused after Pakistan requested for ceasefire. Rajnath Singh, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, interacted with the armed forces personnel during Barakhana at North Command's headquarters in Udhampur, Jammu and Kashmir on Friday. New Delhi Operation Sindoor is a natural progression of the 2016 surgical strikes and the 2019 Balakoria strike in Pakistan, and it was conducted in a manner that forced Islamabad to ask for a ceasefire. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh on Saturday articulating India's firm resolve to fight terrorism. It was executed in such a way that the Pakistan requested for ceasefire, and only then have we put a pause to the operation. As I have said earlier, Operation Sindoor is not over yet. It is fully prepared to take all kinds of actions against terrorism, Singh said at an International Yoga Day function organized by the Army in Udhampur. The Army's Northern Command, based in Udhampur, is the nerve center of the counter-terrorism operations in Jammu and Kashmir. India launched the operation in the early hour of May 7 and struck terror and military installations in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir (POK) following the Pahalgam terror strike in which 26 people were shot dead. It triggered a 4-day military confrontation with the Pakistan involving the fighter jets, missile drones, and long-range weapons and artillery before the two sides reached an understanding on the stopping of military actions on May 10. Pakistan marched weak and India from the within, but it should never forget that just like Major Somnath Sharma, Brigadier Muhammad Usman to sacrifice his life for the unity and the integrity of the country, Singh said, referring to the brave hearts who fought valiantly during the 1947-1948 India-Pakistan War. Sharma and Usman were posthumously awarded the Paramveer Chakra and the Mahavir Chakra, respectively, the country's highest and the second highest wartime honors. Indian defense drones powered by the high-end manufacturing tools. This image shows the damaged building at Noor Khan Air Base after Indian airstrikes. Prior to this, Pakistan used drones and have artillery to hit the civilian areas across the LOC, resulting in the casualties. FATF seizes India's seizure of the dual use of tech from Pakistan-bound ship in the new reports. According to FATF report, the border of the cargo was linked to the Pakistani National Development Complex, which is involved in the country's missile development program. New Delhi, the Financial Action Task Force (FATF) has highlighted India's seizure of dual-use equipment used in the developing missile from a Pakistan-bound merchant vessel in 2020 in a new report flagging vulnerabilities in the global financial systems for the countering the financing of weapons of mass destruction (WMDs). The report from the Multilateral Financial Watchdog listed the incident involving Pakistan among the 6 case studies in a section covering the misuse of the maritime and shipping sectors, including a vast network of vessels, boats, and logistics by illicit actors to evade sanctions and transport a range of commodities, including dual use of equipment. Now, going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, world's biggest banks increased fossil fuel financing by $162 billion in 2024 report. SBI's fossil fuel financing edged up by $65 million last year, according to the Fossil Fuel Finance Report 2025. The increase in fossil fuel financing by banks in 2024 marked a reversal of decreasing lending to segment. Of the three planned freight corridors, East Coast Corridor and is on the priority of the approval DFCCILMD. The last stretch of the 1,506 km long DFC from Dadri in Uttar Pradesh to JNPT, Navi Mumbai will be commissioned by the December, Kumar said. The 1,856 km long eastern dedicated freight corridor from Ludhiana, Punjab to Dakuni of West Bengal is fully operational. With a sharp decline in inflation, monetary policy needed to support growth, Reserve Bank of India governor in the policy announcement on June 6, the 6-member MPC with a vote of 5:1, decided to reduce the repo rate, the key policy rate, by 50 basis points, BBS, to 5.5% and changed the policy stance from the accommodative to neutral. Malhotra said with a projection of 3.7% for 2025-2026. The inflation outlook for the year is looking more beginning than the Reserve Bank of India had anticipated in the April policy. According to science and tech, we have used to show physics can cure rise to multicellular lifespans mutations. A new study by NCBS scientists offer an unconventional view of how major changes first arise in the course of evolution. Scanning electron microscope of Saccharomyces cerevisiae. By the time Nishant and Narayan Swamy joined Shashi Tutupalli lab at the National Center for Biological Science NCBCS in Bangalore in 2019, the lab had a new guest, a yeast colony that had seemingly grown way beyond its expected size. The snowflake yeast had been shipped from William Radcliffe's laboratory at the Georgia Institute of Technology in the United States. Regular yeast, so the same organism that makes bread fluffy, grows a single cell. When it reaches a certain size, a small bump appears on the surface. The yeast nucleus, the compartment that holds its genetic material, splits into two and moves into this part. The part grows until it reaches a certain size and eventually falls off from the parent, making real yeast. Why the decline of the Okla bird sanctuary is a wake-up call for the man's relationship with the nature in the urban areas. The drop in the bird population at Okla bird sanctuary has disrupted key ecological processes, threatening up biodiversity at the Okla bird sanctuary. On any given morning, the steel's cacophony falls silent inside the Okla bird sanctuary. OBS. For a moment, it feels like a quieter and a greener world, but as time grows on, you hear the silence becomes unsettling. There was a time not long ago when thousands of the migratory birds visited the shimmering wetlands. The vast teeming with the life wetland as a haven for over 300 species of birds. Today it is a barren and desolate. Tamil Nadu government initiates steps to roll out HPV vaccination for girls aged 14. The state has initiated the process to procure the vaccine to prevent the cervical cancer, which is the second most common cancer in the woman. The Tamil Nadu Medical Services Corporation has collated tenders for the procurement, and the supply is most likely to reach the hospitals in another 3 months. The government has allocated Rs 36 crore to provide HPV vaccination to all the girls aged 14. Moving ahead to implement its budget announcement, Tamil Nadu has initiated the process to procure human papillomavirus HPV vaccines for girls aged 14. This is to prevent the cervical cancer, which is the second most common cancer in the woman. One of the key budget announcements so far, 2025-2026, the state government plans to progressively provide HPV vaccination to all the girls aged 14 years. It allocated Rs 36 crore for the purpose. In line with this announcement, the Health Department constituted a state advisory committee in April month for the rollout of the HPV vaccination program. The committee, which has the health secretary as its chairperson, comprised of officials and experts, the directors of the school education, public health, and the preventive medicine, medical and rural health services, medical education and research, Institute of Health, Child Health, and Institute of Obstetrics and Gynecology are among its members. HAL winners rupees 511 crore deal to build, own, and commercialize SSLV launch. HAL emerges as the winning bidder among the three shortlisted bidders. The PSU will initially make at least two SSLV rockets in 2 years with the complete help and the holding from the ISRO. This says in Space Chairman Pawan Goenka. Zero small satellite launch vehicle 03 SSLV-D3 leaves a trail of smoke after it lifts off from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in the Sriharikota on August 16, 2024. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has bagged a transfer of technology to a deal valued at rupees 511 crore from the Indian Space Research Organization to build an operates small satellite launch vehicle (SSLV). The SSLV is a three-stage vehicle to launch satellites that weigh less than 500 kg into the low Earth orbit (LEO). The Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center (INSpace) on Friday announced the HAL as the winning bidder among the three shortlisted bidders. The deal will enable commercialization of SSLV launch. What do you need to know about the razor blade COVID variant? The razor blade throat reports indicate is being caused by NB1.8.1 variant of the virus and Omicron descendant variant tabulet nimbus, and currently accounting for a large number of cases worldwide. Symptoms remain similar to those caused by the other COVID-19 strains and include a fever, a sore throat, cough, running nose, and tiredness. Images for representation purpose only. COVID-19, it seems, can never stay out of the news for very long. One variant of the virus has been making headlines recently of being behind a spike in cases, particularly in China and the United States, and for causing a razor blade throats or a severely painful sore throat. What do you need to know about this? Read on to find out. The razor blade throat reports indicate is being caused by the NB181 variant of the virus. An Omicron descendant variant dubbed as Nimbus, and currently accounting for a large number of cases worldwide. On May 23, 2025, the World Health Organization classified this variant as a SARS-CoV-2 variant under the monitoring UVM, with increasing proportions globally, while LP.8.1 is starting to decline. A technical document by the World Health Organization states, considering the available evidence, the additional public health risk posed by NB1.8.1 is evaluated as low at the global levels. Currently approved and COVID-19 vaccines are expected to remain effective to this variant against symptomatic and severe disease. Despite a current increase in cases and hospitalizations in some countries, while NB.1.8.1 is widespread, current data do not indicate that this variant leads to more severe illness than other variants in circulation. Now, at last, there's a famous personality of our world who is known by his famous name, Jalaluddin Muhammad Rumi. Birth anniversary is 30th September 1207. Up to 17 December 1273, was the 13th century poet of Hanafi fiqh, jurist, Maturidi theologian, Mutakallim, and a Sufi mystic born during the Khwarezmian Empire. Maulana Rumi works were written mostly in Persian, but occasionally he also used Turkish, Arabic, and Greek in his verses. His Masnavi, composed in Konya, is considered one of the greatest poems of the Persian language. Rumi's influence has transcended the national borders and ethnic divisions. Iranians, Afghans, Tajiks, Turks, Kurds, Greeks, Central Asian Muslims, as well as the Muslims of the Indian subcontinent, have greatly appreciated his spiritual legacy for the past 7 centuries. His poetry influenced not only the Persian literature but also the literary traditions of the Ottoman Turkish and Chagatai, Pashto, Kurdish, Urdu, and Bengali language. Rumi's works are widely read today in their original language across the Greater Iran and the Persian-speaking world. His poems have subsequently been translated into many of the world's languages and transposed into various formats. Rumi has been described as the most popular poet is very popular in Turkey, Azerbaijan, and South Asia, and has become the best-selling poet in the United States. Rumi says a very famous quotation. He says that yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I'm changing myself. He also says that be patient while you sit in the dark. The time is coming. Okay, thank you.